This conference will now be recorded.
Hello and welcome to your monthly drought climate outlook briefing for Eastern Montana. My name is Brad Mickelson with the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Glasgow. 2021 was the driest year on record, specifically for Glasgow. Our previous record was 6.64 inches of total precipitation, and that was in the year 2017. 2021 brought 6.63 inches, so we broke that record by only 1/100th of an inch, making 2021 the driest year on record for Glasgow. Other locations in northeast Montana, which had very dry precipitation years: Malta with their second driest, Wolf Point with their third driest, Jordan with their fourth driest, and Sydney had their fifth driest 2021 on record. It's been a very cold start to the year 2022. We've had nearly constant winter weather headlines in northeast Montana, most of those covered by either wind chill warnings or winter weather advisories for most days over the last 2 to 3 weeks. With the temperature recap for the month of December, Montana was among the only two states in the nation which had below average temperatures for the state as a whole, statewide. If we look at how that breaks down from county to county, it looks like most of central and northern counties of Montana came in with those below average temperatures, but sections of southeastern Montana and south central Montana were closer to average or slightly above average. Statewide below average, but that's how that breaks down by county for temperatures last month. Looking to now precipitation for the same period, slightly above average if you look at the state as a whole, and then you can see how that breaks down county by county for the state of Montana. Sheridan County in the northeast corner and Garfield County came in with much above average precipitation, and then the rest of the state had either above average slightly or near average, with the extreme southeast corner of Montana being below average in precipitation for the month of December. For temperatures for the whole year, statewide, Montana had much above average temperatures, and that breaks down county by county. The periphery of the state of Montana came in with much above average, but central sections and south central sections of Montana were closer to slightly above average. For the entire year of precipitation, looks like Montana came in with the lowest amount for the entire nation, which showed up as much below average precipitation for the entire state. Now, if you look how that ranks out as you break it down into counties, most of the central sections and northern tier and a few outlying counties had those much below average temperatures. Much below average precipitation, that is. And then some of the periphery counties coming in with slightly below average. Now for the current month, from January 1st up until just yesterday, these temperature trends have shown that it's been quite a bit colder up here along the High Line. Every time we've had a warm spell that's come in from the south, it just doesn't quite get to the ground this far north. Now, portions of Garfield County have had significant increases in temperatures, daily high temperatures for the last several days, and you can see that's reflected there. But then just off to the south by one county, below normal temperatures. So this up here along the High Line is along the Milk and Missouri River valleys, and then down south that is mostly along the Yellowstone River Valley, which has gotten slightly better with temperatures the closer you get toward the North Dakota border. And then you can see that picture on the national level as well. Now the same situation, this is for precipitation trends, and you can see that on the average across the region as a whole, precipitation trends have been slightly below average. Now, over the extreme northeast corner of the state in Sheridan County, Montana, we have had precipitation trends above average, with most of the rest of the region either right near or slightly below average precipitation. Looking across the whole region for snow depth, how much snow is on the ground, it looks like across the high line with that Milk and Missouri River Valley region, those lower elevations are still hanging on to just about 1 inch to maybe a trace of snow. And then other sections of the region, also a trace from Lewistown to Billings down to Sheridan, Wyoming. They're holding on to a trace of snow on the ground, but most other locations you see are bare ground. And if we want to get through that drought, we need to have a little bit more precipitation out there. A little more snow cover would be nice. But this is the current snapshot of where the snow depths are across the region. Now looking at your river basins and how their snow water equivalent is doing so far. Percent of normal, you can see across central and western Montana, you are near 100% or slightly above 100% of normal in the Jefferson, the Bitterroot, the Upper Clark Fork, Flathead, Sun, Teton, and Marius, and St. Mary and Milk Upper. It looks like those basins are very near 100%. And then the far extreme northwest section of Montana is above 100%. But these other basins in central and southern Montana, the Helena Valley Basin, Smith, Judith, and Musselshell basins, and the Upper Yellowstone Basin, Gallatin Basin, those are a little bit less, with 70 to 90% of normal snow water equivalent. For Wyoming, the Tongue River Basin, the Powder River Basin, and the Bighorn Basin all also at 70 to 90% of normal for their snow water equivalent. Here's a good graphic that shows you the climate snapshots for temperature and precipitation and snow across the year 2021. And you can see how things have changed and evolved as the year has progressed. In the Glasgow area, we had a very strong cold snap in February that lasted for a good period of time, maybe a couple of weeks there. That was also seen down in the Billings area as well, where they got to near record cold temperatures. And you can see how that trend continued throughout the year, with a couple of hot spells that also came through the months of June and July for those locations. Unfortunately for precipitation, we were well below normal. Glasgow getting 49% of normal precipitation on the year, and Billings getting 71% of normal precipitation. Also, snowfall, as you can see, below normal, and for both locations as well. So that was the year 2021, and looking ahead to how things are going so far this year, you can see how that same graphic in the background with the current data being overlaid on top of that. We've had some pretty big swings of hot and cold for this time of year, and precipitation, thankfully, so far is 78% of normal in Glasgow and 90% of normal in Billings. And some other areas that report precipitation to us, instead of just the larger cities, we also have some information from some of the smaller areas, and our co-op observers from the area have reported their precipitation for the year 2021, and most of these locations are coming in anywhere between 50 to 75% of normal. So getting some precipitation out there last year, but definitely less than what we usually see, giving rise to the drought that we've seen, and we definitely need to see quite a bit more than this. But those are the numbers, those are the percentages of normal we are seeing across the area. Now, for the drought monitor, for the state of Montana, most of eastern Montana is either in extreme drought in the northern section and severe drought in the southern section of our shared area. This drought is very widespread and long-lived, and we need to see a lot more rain to help us out to get out of this drought. You can see sections of northern Wyoming also in a similar drought with D2 severe widespread with pockets of D3 extreme drought. Now looking ahead here for the next 7 days, you can see this precipitation forecast for the entire nation, but the area that we are concerned for here in northeast Montana, looking to get anywhere between a trace of rain up to 1/4 of an inch over the next 7 days. So weather highlights expected for the next 7 days. Currently, right now, across eastern Montana, we are experiencing Thursday night into early Friday morning some wintry mix of freezing rain and sleet, which is ongoing. It should finish up here sometime Friday morning from west to east as that moves into the Dakotas. The rest of the next 7 days, we'll see some moderating temperatures, and that will mainly show up with temperatures being above normal with a few cold fronts moving through the region. And that would bring some light rain and snow for the extreme northeast corner of Montana on Sunday, and then another push of rain changing to snow through most of the region of both northern and central eastern Montana, and that will be Monday through Monday night. That should bring around 1 inch of snow to the lower elevations and about 3 inches of snow for the higher elevations, such as the Bighorn Mountains. Now looking ahead for your outlooks for temperature and precipitation for the next 2 weeks. Eastern Montana has a better chance of getting some slightly below average temperatures and also good chances of getting above average precipitation. And that might be more realized in southern and southeast sections of Montana. Now looking further ahead to the early spring season, late winter getting into early spring, February, March, and April, it looks like eastern Montana is mostly in an equal chances of getting above or below normal temperatures, and also above or below normal equal chances for precipitation. And looking further from the late spring into the early summer months, equal chances of getting above or below normal temperatures for eastern Montana. And then it looks like we'll have better chances for getting below normal temperatures for sections of eastern Montana, where conditions might be slightly better the closer you get to the Dakotas. And that concludes your monthly briefing. Your next briefing will be on February 17th.